Hey folks, and here is the KYN News Medley of the week.
It's always encouraging to see young people with the take-charge attitude and drive to start their own business at a young age. But according to Oddity Central, a teenager's entrepreneurial spirit led him to illegally exploit a flaw with a government initiative. The 17-year-old young man was recently found guilty of creating a fake COVID screening center and illegally pocketing 5.7 million euros, or about $6 million USD, in state payouts for tests that were never performed. At the height of the coronavirus pandemic in Germany, the demand for tests was so great that the state reimbursed centers for conducting COVID tests based solely on an invoice. That led to some private healthcare providers raking in small fortunes without actually providing any kind of service. Such was the case of the young German student who figured out that all he had to do was create a COVID test center on paper and then invoice thousands of tests every day to collect sizable payouts from the government. He was only 17 years old when he came up with the idea in 2020, managing to pocket millions without actually doing any work. In the span of less than 4 months, the young scammer billed around 500,000 COVID tests. And despite the improbable daily rate of testing, never got so much as a question from the government. And if not for a curious bank employee, the fraudster would have probably raked in even more money. However, someone noticed that the account of a young student had ballooned quickly and suspected some form of money laundering. They contacted the police, and a quick investigation revealed that his fortune had been acquired through illegal means, so it was promptly confiscated. Now 19 years old, the perpetrator was recently convicted for his crime. Luckily for him, because he had not yet turned 18 when he set his scheme in motion, he was trialed as a minor, so he only had his fortune confiscated and was ordered to pay a small fine.
We've all heard stories about people taking advertisements way too literally. But how much time do you have on your hands when you're measuring a pizza? The Mirror reports that a couple has been ridiculed after getting a tape measure out to prove their margarita pizza was 2 inches short of the advertised 15 inches. Coral and Luke Heath claim to have been furious upon discovering their takeout from Westgate Pizza in England was way too small, even snapping a pic with a tape measure as proof. After calling the pizza place to complain, things soon became heated, with Luke claiming a staff member repeatedly called him a liar, refusing to get him either a refund or a fresh pizza. The pair have since shared their ordeal and tape measure pic online. Really, don't order from these people. They do not care about you, said Luke. Added Coral, I honestly don't care what the box says. I ordered a 15, so I expect 15. Although the couple has had some sympathy, many have wondered why they've got nothing better to do. One local man wrote, "You actually measured a pizza. And I thought I had no life. Calm down, takeaway police." Another commenter joked, "Have you phoned the police or shall I?" A restaurant employee said they offered a refund and they apologized. He added, "We also offered them to come in and see our pans and how we work." Honestly, I'm just surprised that after seeing this headline, this story had nothing to do with pornography.
News Nation Now reports that the largest wildfire in the history of New Mexico, which destroyed over 300 homes and caused over $130 million in damage, was started by the U.S. Forest Service. Thousands of people had to evacuate their homes, and more than 300,000 acres of land was burned in a fire that investigators have determined started from a planned, controlled burn fire started by the U.S. Forest Service. It is not clear how the Forest Service lost control of the planned fire. Controlled blazes have long been used to maintain the health of forests by clearing away dead foliage and undergrowth. but the agency said it will put a pause on planned fires and will review its protocols. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham said it was unfathomable the U.S. Forest Service caused the actions that had caused people in New Mexico pain and suffering. It is evident the federal government must take a hard look at their fire management practices, she said. Matthew Hurteau, fire ecologist at the University of New Mexico, said the rulebook is changing on planned fires because of climate change. He explained that these ecosystems are a lot drier than they ever were before because the atmosphere is a lot warmer. There is less moisture, and that increased dryness has led to exponential growth in the size of wildfires. Hurteau believes that the answer to solving these wildfires is not to stop controlled burns, because they are important for reducing the amount of vegetation in high-risk areas. Fortunately, there is evidence that pre-planned fires can work in this climate. In the same forest where the wildfire was started, a second wildfire was kept under control thanks to years of well-handled pre-planned fires conducted there.
WBAL 11 News reports that a fight broke out in a residential community in Pasadena, Maryland, prompting residents to call the police. A resident who asked not to be identified said her grandson saw a fight between two mail carriers that included their mail delivery trucks and even the mail itself. He come in and told me, Mimi, they were outside fighting, and they were riding up and down the street playing bumper cars, she said. According to witnesses, one mail carrier was a man and the other was a woman, each driving their own U.S. Postal Service delivery vehicle. Residents said they saw the man use his mail truck to block the woman in, and he ended up blocking the entire road so other drivers were stuck. One witness, Brenda Ripto, said, "The guy in the one mail truck got out and punched the window of the female's mail truck, and then she started throwing mail at him, and mail was going everywhere, all over the street." Ms. Ripto added, "The guy got out of the mail truck and started running down the street, and the police officers chased him and handcuffed him and then put him in the car." The U.S. Postal Inspection Service sent a statement to 11 News, saying, "This matter is currently under investigation by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, and in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, I am unable to provide additional details at this time. All mail from the scene was recovered and delivered to its final destination."
RESPECT. Click the subscribe button and find out what it means to me. Nah, that doesn't have a ring to it. But if you like videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, subscribe now.